is Tyler Caviness. I currently serve as the Municipal Court Judge for the City of Knoxville. The department I work for, the city office I work for, is the Municipal Court for the City of Knoxville, and so that's sort of it all falls under the same department, but there's sort of two components to it. There's the judicial component of it, what we actually do in the courtroom, and then there's also the administrative component of it, which is the municipal court clerk's office. And so that's led by the municipal court administrator, who serves directly under me and is sort of my right hand person. My department has been in operation since 1792, so I think 1 year after the City of Knoxville was founded, we've been able to trace back that it may not have been called the Municipal Court back then, but sort of the precursor to the Municipal Court. In the position of the Municipal Court Judge, really what I'm tasked with is administering, or adjudicating, I should say, the laws and ordinances of the City of Knoxville. And so when someone is inside of the city limits of Knoxville and they commit some kind of violation under the city's code of ordinances, it can be cited to this court. So there's a lot of overlap between state laws and ordinances, and then also local laws and ordinances. And so if a KPD officer chooses to, the case can be cited to this court, and it would then be adjudicated here. And so a lot of what that includes would be what I think of really just as being community well-being issues. And so there's a lot of traffic violations, sort of things involving the safety of our roadways, but then also things involving just the well-being of the community. So upkeep of your property, upkeep of your animals, and then we also have some regulatory issues that come before the court as well, in terms of licensures and some things related to permits within the city as well. In my department, we have 13 people, including me. I mentioned before, we have the court administrator, who serves directly under me, who is the leader of the administrative side of the court. So I also have my judicial assistant. She helps me with really just my day-to-day tasks, also helps with some bigger picture operations of the court in terms of helping me enact some policies that affect the operation of the court and also the operation of the office. There's a court clerk who works directly under the court administrator, and the court clerk is the direct supervisor of the deputy court clerks. And so the deputy court clerks are really the worker bees of the office. They're the ones who, if you're a member of the public and you come to the court needing assistance on a current ticket or an old ticket, or just a question about the operation of the court and how your court case might be handled, you'd be working with the deputy court clerk. And then we do have one more employee who we have one more non-clerk employee. She's a court operations technician. She handles financial components of the office, works in sort of an office management role. And then we also have two clerks who handle data entry operations. The role of the municipal court in local government is, like I said, to enforce the laws and ordinances of the City of Knoxville. And one thing that sometimes people don't realize is that this court is not a criminal court. It's actually a court with civil jurisdiction. And what that means is that anyone who's cited to the court, they're not facing a misdemeanor or a felony. They're facing a civil violation of our local laws and ordinances. And I mentioned before, there's a lot of overlap between things like you could be cited under state law with a misdemeanor, or you could be cited to the city court with this ordinance violation. And really where the court fits into to all of this is that this is really sort of an entry-level court for things that we recognize as a community. We do want enforcement of this. We do want safe roadways. We do want neighborhoods that are safe, not just from very serious things like drugs or violence, things like that, but also how we upkeep our properties, how we take care of our animals. That matters too. But we don't necessarily need the same heavy-handed approach or all the same significant procedures and policies that you would have in a criminal court where you're charged with a violation of the state's criminal laws. Instead, we have a court that's a little more community focused, a little more community level, where some of these things can be handled. So in my opinion anyway, this is really, for many people, this is the only court that they may ever encounter. These are things that we do care about as a community, otherwise we wouldn't have these laws and ordinances. These are things that matter to just the proper functioning of our community, the well-being of our citizens. But we also recognize these are things that need enforcement and correction, but also no one here is, no one who comes to this court is facing a significant prison term, nor should they be for the types of things that are being adjudicated here. So that's, it kind of fills a gap between some of the more serious offenses that go through the criminal justice system and all the resources that need to be dedicated to that versus things that we do still care about as a community, but also realize we can be handling that in a more informal way. The biggest misconception about what the role of the municipal court is in the judicial system is to just not really know what the role of the municipal court is. I think that people may not realize the multiple layers that are in the criminal justice system. So when they think about court, they don't know that there's a difference between the Tennessee Court of Criminal Appeals and the Tennessee Court of Appeals, or what the differences between those jurisdictions are and what types of cases each court would hear. So when you're just at if you were just at your job or at a gathering of friends and you said, hey, anybody here ever been to court? Probably one or two of those people is going to raise their hand and say, yeah, I had a speeding ticket one time, I had to go to court. For that person, they're not making a big distinction between, well, did I go to the Knox County Criminal Court? Did I go to the Knox County Circuit Court? Did I go to Chancery Court? Did I go to Municipal Court? They know what their experience was when they were there, but they're not necessarily understanding everything that goes in behind it. And so how that plays out here in our office is that it's really important that we recognize that we have a duty to represent the rest of the judiciary in Tennessee. I mean, if we're the only court that someone's ever going to encounter, we need to take that into account, because what that person's perception of the justice system and the perception of the integrity of the justice system, both in their local community but also in their state, a lot of that is going to be reflected by how we treat them and what they experience when they're in this court. And so I think perhaps the biggest misconception or just lack of perception is just people tend to not know, people don't tend to spend their free time, learning about the court system and what makes each court different and what makes each court operate in the way that it does. What motivates me to ultimately come to this job or to any job is that I believe that, it's important to me to work hard doing work that matters. And that might sound a little, hunky-dory cliche. I don't care. Because I really believe it. And I fundamentally believe that there's an opportunity to positively impact people's lives in the municipal court. I believe that how we treat people in court matters. Yes, this is ultimately an institution that promotes justice and accountability, but justice and accountability don't mean that you don't leave respect or kindness at the door simply because this is a court of law or because the people who come into court are accused of doing something or may have done something that ultimately violates our local laws. And so how our clerks interact with people who are oftentimes, they're going through an uncertain process. This is the first time they've ever interacted with court. How we treat them on the administrative side of things, whether we're helpful or unhelpful, whether we take the extra step to try to get the right outcome, whether we purposefully choose not to cut corners because it's important that people can have confidence in the outcomes that we reach in this court. All those things matter, and it matters to the individuals who come to court. It matters to what our community believes about whether the work we do here is important or not, and it matters to the people who work here. And so, any organization that has direct impact with or direct interaction with their community, that's an opportunity to improve people's lives. I'm not, I don't think that here in this court we, solve everybody's problems or fix everything that needs fixing in the city of Knoxville. But I do believe that in our corner of the city that we have a real opportunity to positively impact people, and the pursuit of that and the dedication to that is what motivates me to keep doing the work. I think that any government organization, any organization in general, can fall victim to the sort of trap of things being good enough. And change is difficult, and change is particularly difficult in a government organization when there's so many different moving pieces that interact with each other. It's very rarely that you can make a big change at an organizational level that doesn't require working with other departments, and that's great that we have other departments to work with, because we have support. No department in the city or no one person in the city has to try to do things alone. But if we decide to make a change to our operational procedures about how we take payments, for example, well, we need to work with the law department. We need to work with the finance department. The mayor's office may or may not want to, at least be aware of what's going on. And so I say that just to say that I think that city court has not progressed at the rate that it should. And when I say that, I mean that there are things that we could be doing to keep up better with technological changes, to improve our processes and our procedures. There's ways that we could be better communicating information to the public. And there's ultimately things that can make our processes more efficient in the courtroom, which goes back to all of that, just respecting people's time, respecting the experience that they have in this court, and just trying to do the best job that we can while we're here. And so, how has city court, how has the municipal court evolved over the years? I think that it has evolved slower than it should, and that's something that since I've been here, has really been a goal of mine to step up the pace of that evolution and identify the things that we are behind on, identify the opportunities and the options that are out there to continue to improve, and then once you get to where you're going, not be satisfied with where you're at. Continue to keep up that pace, because there's always new ideas, there's always new opportunities, and ultimately, as long as we're driven by the right goal, which is how can we improve the function of this office for the people that we serve, as long as that's the compass that we're operating by, then continual change towards that end, that's my goal, and that's the direction that we're headed. I think I've already probably described the favorite part of my work. I mean, at the end of the day, doing work that is good work and work that has an opportunity to make a meaningful, positive impact on people and a meaningful, positive impact on the local community. That's my favorite part of the work. And so not satisfied with where we're at. We can continue to improve, and will continue to improve, but I do believe it when I say it, that the work we do here matters, and that we do help make our local community, the community that we all live in, the community we all care about. I do believe that we have a chance here to improve the lives of the people of Knoxville, and I believe we're doing that.